I have a question about Nick Mullens. And you remember, I haven't met these people.
Yes.
You've given me a pretty good idea of what Jimmy Garoppolo is like.
Yes.
I don't know what Nick Mullens is like. Do they ever do Zoom conference calls with him? Do they ever
Yes.
have you ever talked to him at his locker? Could
Yes.
you, in a few sentences, sort of sketch his what you get from his personality when you talk to him?
Jimmy was the cool guy in high school. He was the captain of the football team, and girls loved him, and he had a beautiful smile, and he's just the most popular person in the prom king, that kind of guy. Nick Mullens was probably the football, the quarterback, and on like the math team or the chess club. There's nothing like alpha male about him. He looks about 6 feet tall. He's skinny. If you didn't know he was on the team, you'd think, oh, it's the equipment manager. No, he's going to be gathering up the cleats and the shoulder pads. And so he's not taking over the room the way Jimmy Garoppolo does, but he's focused. He's always working, and he makes a point of that. He's not coming over to me like, hey, what'd you watch on TV last night? If I go over to him, he'll say, hey, Grant, good to see you. My grandfather says hello, but he's more mature than I am. He's like 25, but he's 35. And he's very good at having private relationships with players on the team. He'll talk to the guy who sits next to him in his locker. He'll talk to everyone who's around him, but he's not taking over the locker room. He just has his little orbit. And you can see he talks to the defensive players. The way I interpret him, when he finally gets to play and has these press conferences, he talks like he's the head coach of the football team. He takes it that seriously. It's like he's Kyle Shanahan. Okay. And I think that's why everyone respects him. It's like, who are you to take your job that seriously?
I have another question about him, because I'm in love with personalities. Iggy, have you ever talked to Nick about something that was not football?
No, he's not trying. He doesn't have time. He'll talk to you in passing. He doesn't have time. It must have been kind of like what Joe Montana was like at 24. He had that huge textbook under his arm, and it's like, I'm sorry, I have to study this or else I'm going to be replaced next year.
Yeah. So if you sat down next to him and said, what book are you reading? What shows do you watch on TV? It almost wouldn't compute with Mullens.
I don't think so. I mean, he might try to humor me because we like each other, and I think we try to talk, but no, he's tunnel vision. He's absolutely focused. And most of the time it's like, I wouldn't even want to interrupt him. He's sitting with his head in the locker all the way down like this.
Which means leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone.
Does he have humor?
He does have humor. He has a sense of humor. But at the same time, he's not like a jokester. Like if you make a joke at his expense, he can laugh at himself, but he's not trying to crack jokes at a press conference. He's not trying to show off his charm or his personality. He's very much like you're listening to an offensive coordinator. Like you're listening to someone who's 20 years older than he is.
Final question. I'm only talking personalities, not football. Compare and contrast Nick Mullens' personality and George Kittle.
George Kittle. You remember my friend Kevin growing up?
Yes.
He's Kevin. And I love Kevin. Kevin loved people watching him and would put on a show playing baseball at 11 years old. I mean, from all the way through Little League, he was a showman and a baseball player, and he was great. I never had it like that. I mean, I didn't have that kind of theatrics at a young age playing sports. Kittle does. He's equally a great player and a great showman. He's almost like he would be Muhammad Ali or Hulk Hogan. He reminds me of Hulk Hogan. So Nick Mullens isn't like that. I mean, Nick Mullens is the most understated player on the team. You know, Nick Mullens doesn't even look like a football player. He's the guy who put the pylon back up after it fell down. It's like, hey guys, they might kick me out of the game unless I keep it clean over here. I mean, I got to do a little extra. So they're different.
Okay. So I'm going to try to restate what you said, and I love it. And thanks for indulging me. Kittle is sort of into the theatrics of his personality.
Oh, yeah.
And Mullens has no sense of that.
No.
He has no sense. He's just a football player.
Kittle's like a big kid. Mullens is like a little elderly person. He's like 75 years old. He can have some fun. He can crack a joke, but really, I mean, time is of the essence here, guys.
Yeah, I got it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Thanks for indulging me.
Those were great questions. I like that. That was cool. And we didn't plan this little dialogue. This was just
No,
organic.
we didn't plan it. That's how we talk. And also, that's how we ask each other questions like that.